Where you from? Step up, how that feel?
What it is, my people, it's the kid Sincere, your resident gold chain gamer, and lately I just been pondering, I just been thinking about the good old days. And to me, the good old days, listen, I know I grew up on Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, yeah, we all know Sonic the Hedgehog, Mario, GOAT level, no doubt about it. But there was like this golden age of gaming where there was something for everyone, for every demographic, every genre. Everybody had something great to play. And me being a hip hop head, when hip hop and gaming fused, and I'm not talking about Shaq Fu, I'm not talking about the Wu-Tang Clan Shaolin style game. The game that fused those two things that I love so dearly together was the Def Jam series. Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York. Those two games were just excellent. Taking the Akai engine from some of the greatest wrestling games. I don't know if you can see it in the background, but I have a Nintendo 64 under there. Some of the greatest wrestling games of all time, and pairing it with the Def Jam license and getting artists like Method Man, Redman, DMX, all the hot guys at that time period in hip hop, and putting them in the game and having them duke it out and fight to the death with great gaming mechanics. The grappling felt so smooth. The animations were great. Even the art style, it just spoke to me, man. And I just got to thinking, why isn't this around now? What happened to the Def Jam series? Why is it dead? Why did it die? Did people just not like it anymore? So I had to kind of, do my Googles, or even just go back in time to when I remember the series just dying off. So to go there, first we have to go to the beginning. Actually, when EA bought the license to WCW, they made some terrible WCW games. WCW Mayhem was trash. That Backstage Assault game, bad. And then they were in the works of making, probably, it could have been one of the best WCW games of all time, because they acquired the Akai engine that had Aki Akai, whatever you want to call them, AKI, and they were going to develop the new WCW game for EA, Electronic Arts. And then WCW got bought by WWE. Vince McMahon threw the checkbook out, and next thing you know, WCW was in WWE. So that kind of left EA in a conundrum. What were they going to do? Somebody had the genius idea of going down the street from the offices and going to Def Jam and bringing them aboard to make a game. And for what I understand, some people were opposed to it, and I can see why. It's a weird idea, but they brought Def Jam on board because Def Jam wanted to get into the video game business, and they created two of the best games, to me, best wrestling / fighting games ever created. And as history tells it, because if you try to go buy Def Jam Fight for New York right now on PS2, it's gonna cost you like $70, $80, maybe even $100, because that's how rare that game is, and that's how great that game is. Only great games hold value that long. Great games go up in value. So that is an amazing title. The first game comes out, the guys are fighting in the ring, so it's a little wonky, but it still has that great Aki action, that wrestling, the reversals. The matches felt fluent. Of course, you had Ghostface Killer, Redman, Meth. You got not all, but a lot of good characters, even some made-up characters in that game. A really good single-player campaign, really good. And then fast forward a year or so, and you get Def Jam Fight for New York that improves on everything in that first game. I mean, everything. The game got drastically better. I'm talking about fighting in clubs, still maintaining that over-the-top wrestling action, the finishing moves, some of the best finishing moves in gaming. Redman flips you upside down and kicks you in the ass. Amazing stuff. The roster gets better. The graphics, they got a little better. They weren't too much better than the first game, but they did get better. They improved. And the single player campaign with Snoop Dogg as the villain, It was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Just thinking about it, I'm getting giddy because it's one of the better single player campaigns in a fighting game you're ever going to play. It's engaging. It don't feel like nobody really phoned it in. Like everybody that was involved was 10 toes deep, man. They were really trying to make something great, and they did, and they succeeded. So after that game, you figure, well, if that game is such a success, probably one of the highest rated and sold games on PS2. One of them. There's a lot of, you know, big games on PS2. What happened? What happened from there? Everything I just said up to this point was great, amazing. What happened? Well, the next gen comes along, and I don't know if they lost the Aki engine or they just couldn't cut a deal with them to make another game. But the next game in the series, and I remember this being advertised on the cover of a Game Informer and thinking, wow, this game's going to be fantastic. I'm talking about amazing. And then the game comes out. Whew, man, this game is a piece of shit. And that game is Def Jam Icon. Now listen, that time in hip hop was a funny time. It was a strange time, especially for me, because hip hop was changing. You know, the South had really caught, I'm talking about, they caught, the whole game was just really Southern hip hop. And I liked it. I love Young Jeezy, T.I., Luda, you know. But this game lost some of its soul. And what I mean by that is, I think that going into making this game, because what they did was they hired the people that make the Fight Night games, EA Chicago, to develop this game, and they tried to make it like quasi-realistic, but it comes off looking stupid because the realer the things that happen in that setting looks completely like ridiculous, because they had good ideas here. So let me not just trash the game. The game had good ideas. They had some really, really good ideas, like as far as the levels moving to the music. I thought that was cool. Now, the way you switch songs and battle with the songs sounds like some real hip hop shit, but when you do it in practice, it just doesn't work. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't add anything to the experience. It's just there. And the actual fighting, the hand-to-hand combat is so bad. It's very clunky. It's very weighty. It just doesn't feel fluent. The game isn't fun. It's just not fun. It's not a fun game. And it just didn't have that same soul that the first two Def Jam games had. So, couple that with an extremely bad single player game where they wanted you to build a record label. Like the earlier Def Jam games was about like a fight club. Like the rappers weren't technically rappers. They were just fighters in that setting. You know, in New York, they'll fight for New York. There wasn't really rap things going on there. They just were rappers. Even some of them played characters. Like Busta, Red, and Meth weren't themselves. They were characters in that story. Where this game, like, it's rappers. You're going to go protect Ludacris and just stupid shit. Like, they totally missed the mark. The game's not fun, and it's almost trying to be too hip-hop, you know, with this whole record label bullshit. So Kevin Liles is like the evil person. Oh my god, this is the shady record industry dude. Like, that's no, y'all ruined it. EA ruined their own franchise with Def Jam Icon. Now, they had another Def Jam game after it, but it wasn't like it was like one of those Guitar Hero type deals. Def Jam Rap Star. Wasn't nothing special. This game, Def Jam Icon, single-handedly murdered the franchise. It killed it. The franchise is dead. Now, I don't even think you can resurrect the Def Jam series in 2019 going forward. To where hip-hop is right now, who would be the combatants in that game? Would you have Lil Uzi Vert? Or how about Young Thug? Maybe Blueface? I don't know. I know J. Cole ain't fighting nobody. Maybe Kendrick? I don't know. I'm lost. I think the Def Jam series is just dead. So when I do these videos and I talk about like sports games, I talk about Fight Night possibly coming back, a lot of people, man, it happens every video. A lot of people say, well, what about Def Jam? Because I love Def Jam. And I'm like, I loved it too. I really did. I just was playing it. I loved it too. It's a great game. It's amazing. It's just not gonna happen, man. Just not now. Like, what would you go get the older, hip hop artists? Nah, that wouldn't work. It would have to be something current. I just don't see hip hop's climate today being combatants in a fight. What, they're gonna have a personal pole match? I don't know. Whose choker is the tightest? I don't know. I don't see it. What Amigos are gonna fight? I mean, that would be kind of funny, watching Amigos fight. Maybe Cardi B, the baby, he likes fighting people. I don't know. I'm just trying to throw out some suggestions. I don't think it's possible today. But listen, maybe you do. Maybe you think that Def Jam can make a rising return to gaming. Maybe you think like me, like, hey man, we just gotta reminisce on the past and accept that Def Jam Icon murdered the series. EA and Def Jam Icon murdered the series. Whatever it is, leave a comment, let me know what you think. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you think a friend would like this video, hit the share button. And if you like all of this, subscribe to the channel for more content. Check me out on Twitter at sincere_GCG and on Instagram and Facebook at GoldChainGamers. In the meantime, between time, you never know. Maybe a personal pole match ain't that bad between Young Thug and Lil Uzi Vert, but I don't know. Whatever it is, man, y'all stay cool while y'all stay cool. Remember, it's more than a game. It's a lifestyle, y'all. I'm up out of here. Peace. Wait, you still here? Well, since you're here, subscribe to the channel or check out my last video. Either way, thanks for watching and cheers, I guess. Now, how do I take over the world? Step 1,